Joseph Nia Adekoka is my guest. He is the NDC's Greater Accra chairman, and thanks for joining me, sir.
Thank you.
And we all are here because we know that the NDC will be going to the primaries tomorrow, the 21st of November 2015, to elect various candidates to represent them in the 2016 parliamentary, as well as AFEM. The president, who is standing as a lone ranger as far as we're concerned in that very presidential primary for the NDC, and all taking place today. This is the best platform. We'll give you the best updates, the best reviews, previews, and all the best analysis as far as that very primary is concerned throughout the rest of the day, throughout the rest of tomorrow, and on Sunday you get the best updates. So how many candidates are contesting nationwide?
Oh, I want to
limit
myself to Greater Accra.
To Accra.
We have about 110 aspirants. Let me say good morning to yourself and your viewers. And I'm always happy to see you looking so smart.
Thank you. Thank you.
110 aspirants, let me say so, because they're aspirants, contesting the 34 constituencies in the Greater Accra region. Because that is where I am, so I'm more comfortable talking about that area.
Your territory.
My territory,
okay.
Yeah. So far that is a position, and it's very interesting that NDC has adopted this kind of a system. It's the first in the whole of West Africa. I don't know about other countries, other Africa, but in West Africa, this is the first political party that has given franchise to all its grassroots members, and it's an exciting time, and it's a novelty. So novelty comes with its challenges, of course. Being a new system, we have faced certain challenges regarding the voters register, which other viruses entered. Let me use that word, and graciously it's been cleaned. So far, we think they've got a very credible register to use as a voting material, and these are going out today. And the electoral commissioner is solely in charge of the elections, because this election is being run on just as if we are running a national election. So the EC is totally in charge. No constituency or regional executive is in charge of the elections. All that we need to do is just walk in, vote, and come out, and leave the electoral commissioner to handle, because we want them to have the independence of running the election. So that's a novelty.
Okay, so to have 110 people contesting in 34 constituencies in the Greater Accra region, there's a lot of numbers.
It's a lot of numbers. It's a lot of numbers.
Prior to now, how did you do the necessary logistical movement and organization? Because we know prior to now you had to do the registration in some of the areas.
Yes. Yeah. You know, the previous system had delegates converging at maybe a center. So a consumer have a delegate of, about, say, 400. So that was manageable, right? So moving logistics around was not difficult. But now this is a nationwide and a regional-wide thing. So the electoral commissioner has been charged to move the logistics around. So the ballot papers and everything have been given to the electoral commissioner. And so they have to do the logistical movement. We as a party are not entitled, are not supposed to be part of the movement of materials. So that nobody will say that you frustrated a particular area by not sending ballot papers there on time. So this is purely electoral commission's program.
Which constituencies in the Accra region do we have candidates not being contested?
We have Ododo Odio.
Do you know their number?
Candidate not contest now going unopposed.
Yes, they are going unopposed.
Yeah, that's right.
How many numbers?
I think it's about three.
Just
three or four.
So Ododo
Odio, Domi Obom, and then Weja Bawe. Yeah, these three areas are
where you have
independent. What do you call it? Unopposed candidates.
So what happens? It means they will not be having elections there.
There will be no parliamentary elections there. but there's going to be presidential elections.
Just like nationwide.
Just like nationwide, yes. As for the presidential election, it's nationwide. Because the president must be endorsed, must have 50+1 before he can contest.
You mean your candidate for president?
Our candidate for president must have 50+1. So whether it's a Lone Ranger or not, he has to seek an endorsement.
Get that receipt of endorsement.
Exactly. So in all over the country, there must be a presidential election.
We noticed that some areas had difficulties controlling, well, agitated supporters or sympathizers or some of the individuals who perhaps may have been disqualified prior to now. Can you mention some of the places, if you're not comfortable to? How have you been managed? How have you been managing some of the sentiments?
So far, it's only K2 South, or if I think K2 South, where one person had gone to court, and the party immediately disassociated himself, because once you go to court, you are sacked. Because during the primaries, during the vetting, certain rules and regulations were laid down, right? That you will be passed, during vetting, you qualify based on certain criteria. And when the party in its own wisdom says that you have not fulfilled the criteria and you are disqualified, why do you have to go to court? Go and prepare yourself, and next time you come back and you do the right thing, you get qualified and you move on. It's as simple as that. There was also the rule that when your supporters misbehave, you suffer the collateral damage, because your supporters misbehave. But you were told that they should go and have civil what do you call it? A civil what do you call it?
Resolution or dialogue?
Campaign.
Campaign.
Right. So
that is campaign that is devoid of any
rancor and those kind of insults and all. So and then some people, some aspirant supporters, they misbehave themselves, and when they misbehave by damaging election material, that is the voters' register. Some of them held press conferences which they are not supposed to hold, and making all sorts of allegations and insulting people. So with those things, the party takes a serious view of that, but per that misbehavior, they are disqualified. Well, next time you have to ask your supporters. If you ask, as we are going to vote tomorrow, any aspirant whose supporters misbehave, bringing the system to disrepute, if you win or not, the party will take action against you. So, my brothers and sisters listening and watching this morning should advise, especially the aspirants should advise. Yesterday we called them and asked them to advise their supporters. Go and vote and go home. After 5 o'clock, come and witness the counting in a civil manner. When you finish, whoever has won, the party will work with the person. It's a family affair. You understand? So
there were agitations in Ashaiman prior to now.
Ashaiman, there were no agitations. No. Some of them were media reports when it was investigated. There was so far Greater Accra has been very calm, right? There was just only 1 or 2 skirmishes there, but overall, if you look at the wideness of Greater Accra, starts from Ada all the way to Obomdomiabra, right? I mean, it's a very wide area, and so far we've conducted yesterday, the executives came, the aspirants came, and it was a very peaceful encounter. So I think so far one would say kudos to everybody who has worked within the system to arrive at where we are today.
Well, so let me just run this by you. Greater Accra region will be having 522 centers. The number of aspirants, 110. We also have the number of females being 13, number of sitting MP 16, number of those representing the MMDCs who are numbering about one. Okay, only one person.
Yeah.
And 5 going unopposed, we're told. Okay, so that's it. But if we have to take this very election that you're about to convene, we know it's a novelty because it's an improvement on what the NPP did.
Exactly.
Which one is more expensive? I mean, for the party, not in terms of for the individual. We'll come to the individual.
It's a very expensive thing. Around an election is not a joke. You know, you can imagine the whole country. we're talking about 275 constituencies. And we are putting up, I think, about 6,000 polling stations. The whole country is 6,000 polling stations, right? So the logistic, as you said, printing of ballot papers, register, and all. It's not a small thing. Provide transportation for the goods to be, for the ballot papers to be moved around. You know, having to pay the EC to conduct the election. It's a very expensive thing. In previous years, the ones that we've conducted, I don't think the expense that we are incurring today can match those ones. It's a huge, it's virtually a national election. It's virtually a national election. Yeah.
At the end of the day, what mechanisms have you put in place to resolve the pre and then the post agitation concerns?
Exactly. You heard what the president said on Monday.
Well, the president has said something, but people behave contrary to orders.
Well, that at the end of the day, there will be no victor, there will be no vanquished, right? But then we're going to have a reconciliation committee that will have to go around. Even now that during the process of electioneering, there are a lot of factions have arisen, that there are a lot of hate feelings among various aspirants. I mean, a lot of insults have gone down in certain areas. I mean, if you look at, I don't want to be specific, right? But then there are hate feelings, and we are hoping that at the end of the day, we'll be able to assuage the hate feelings of within the system, and we hope that people will, whoever wins, will be able to spread his hand or show his hand, right? To congratulate, extend his hand to congratulate whoever has won on the field, in the constituency, so that the supporters will take a cue from that and fall in line. We are hoping so, because it's a family affair, and the party is prepared to work with anybody who emerges, but certain bridges must be built within certain constituencies where at least a little bit of bad blood has been spilled.
But at the end of the day, if you compare the way the election is organized in this very mode, for the individual personalities or candidates, how a financial burden is it on them?
Yesterday I had somebody...
Because I'm asking you this because you may have been interacting with people you know, or candidates who, by virtue of the fact that you are chairman, would be telling you a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea of this was to minimize monetary influence within the party foot soldiers. Unfortunately, it has not been so. When you go on campaign trail, you must provide some logistics for the people that you went to meet, right? So previously, probably you meet about 2 or 3 people, or just a few delegates. But now you go to a place, you might meet as many as 100 or 200, 300 delegates. And you have to at least, in our parlon, you have to give them transportation. So just imagine, you take a constituency like Katamanso, very huge. You understand? It starts from, what do you call it, Pom. Then you go and end at Katamanso. You have to cross the main road to go to that side, you know, and go as far as Oyibi. So you can imagine, you traverse the whole constituency, branches, and when you are leaving, you are not going to leave them empty-handed, because your competitor will also come and do something. So some figures have been bundled around by a few of them, which, I mean, for party's sake, you don't have to come and sit on television.
You just need to keep caps on.
Exactly. That right. It's not. They claim it's not a joke. I mean, we thought this was going to calm things down, but rather it has rather escalated to very for these primaries. And then you have to, when you win, you have to think of prosecuting the general election. So
does it mean that? But has it brought the rank and file a lot more closer to to the issues around the national politics?
Yes, it has energized
because prior to now, we're hearing that there was a lot more apathy.
Yeah, but then it has energized them, and you could see rallies, huge walks. I mean, the novelty has also made the party now, we are all in campaign mood. Our campaign probably will have started 6 months to election time, but now it has started. So from here, we are moving on. On Sunday, I think Saturday or Sunday, we all converge at Ifwa Stenalad Park to acclaim the presidency, and we're going to have a rally there, right? So everybody should find his or her way there, and that's part of the campaign that we are then launching our official presidential and parliamentary campaign on the wings of the presidency declaration.
Now, let's come to the point where we have gone to the point in which we have a lot more of your members of parliament who also are contesting, some of which in the interest of party you would want to be maintained because you feel individually they are strong force as far as your position is concerned. Where as a region have you noticed that some individuals could be having difficulties, and so it's not as if you are being biased, so to speak?
No,
well, where you've noticed that, what have you done? No, just not to be specific.
Exactly. See, as a regional chairman and
yes, don't be specific, exactly. But perhaps
we have decided that the electorate, the grassroots must decide. They must be discerning enough to appreciate that we need a strong Greater Accra representation in Parliament. So it behoves on them, as they go to the polls, right, to evaluate everybody who has given him or herself up for election. And it's very important, because if you don't elect people who have got the experience and have got the tenacity and what they call it, the knack, right, to help the presidency, for ministerial appointments, 50+1 must come from Parliament. So it's very important that if Greater Accra wants to have ministers of state to prosecute the agenda of Greater Accra and the country, then it behoves on them to elect people who are ministerial material. It's very, very important that they are ministerial material. And so they are in their constituencies. They know. They are the best people to know that this person, when he is elected, has got the potential of being a minister of state to run this country. So for us, we believe that they are discerning enough to see that they have to elect. They shouldn't look at the most the populist person or populist vote. No, that's not what we are talking about. It's the ability, the competence, the experience. Those are the things that matter, that people should watch out for. Because you want to go to Parliament and the government will not be in a position to appoint ministers, and other regions have more ministers, because we look at the caliber of people that they've presented, and then we start crying Greater Accra. So it behoves on them. That is why today we are asking that, per the National Constitution, 24 hours into election time, there are no campaigning. But people have to sit down and reflect. So we in Greater Accra are asking all aspirants.
So from today,
no campaigning.
The whole of the day.
The whole of the day. No television appearances, no radio, nothing. So that there's a cooling off period.
So that's why we're inviting people, they refuse to come.
Exactly. So they'll have a cooling off period.
But those who are members of your communication team can.
Oh, no. As a regional, I'm now going to ask for the supporters to go out in their numbers and vote for the presidency. But we need 100% endorsement for the president. So that is my job to do that. For the aspirant, they've done their campaign, and for us to have a cooling period, it is necessary. That is why in the wisdom of the Constitution, those who frame the Constitution for elections in this country says that after Thursday, all campaign, if the election is 24 hours, the campaigning must cease, so that everybody takes a sober reflection, and you are able in your own quiet moment to reflect on whom you think will be suitable to prosecute the agenda of the NDC. So that's what we've asked them to do, and I'm very happy to hear that they are complaining. You just said when you invite them, they don't want to come. It's true. They are, and then Also, to charge our members that when you go and you vote for the parliamentary candidate, don't forget to vote for the president, yes. Because in Greater Accra, we are looking for 100% endorsement with the presidency. So I'm charging all our members that when they go and vote for the parliamentary candidate, the next ballot paper that will be as president, and that when you go, it should be yes.
So they should also give an endorsement as well.
To the president.
Is it just for the meaning of it, or that?
No, it's not. It's not just for the meaning of it.
Or that the president needs it.
It is no. It is our duty as a party to endorse our president and send a message clearly out there that he is on the right path of transforming the lives of Ghanaians and transforming Ghana and changing the lives of Ghanaians. It is very important.
You have supervised one election already, which has led to a victory in 2012.
Yes.
This is your
my second term.
This is your second term. Yes. Now, what lessons are you carrying over from the last term?
Yeah, let me tell you something. In the last term, there are certain seats that we could have won, but because during the election, there was slight misunderstanding in certain areas. So the most of the supporters, right, voted skirt and blouse, where they voted for the president because they didn't like the candidate. And so if you go to the northern region and somewhere, certain seats were won by the MPP, but the presidential election was won by the president. Come to Greater Accra, the same thing. The president won most of the seats in Greater Accra, but we lost the parliamentary because of the fact that most of the supporters were aggrieved about the candidate that has emerged. Now, that is why we have given everybody a leveling playing field. So now anybody who merges is a result of more than average 2,000 people voting for that person. Previously, maybe only about 300 will vote, but now, so if 2,000 people have voted for you, or 3,000 or 5,000, then it means that the people want you to be their MP. So here, there will be no room for skirt and blouse. And so there are certain seats that hopefully, with this system, we hope to increase our seats in Greater Accra and also to increase the presidential vote.
But the issue about the voters register that you compiled raised some concerns about the content, or those that you had registered, some of whom were told were not true members of the party. Yes. How did you resolve that? Yeah,
we had to exhibit the voters register, the various branches. You see, and invariably in the branches, everybody knows everybody there, because they have been having meetings. You go to a place and you know this house is an MPP house. You go, it's an NDC house. So if somebody from that house finds his name in a register, it can be identified. So we have to go and display, and people knew those who were, because among themselves they'd be arguing. And people are very compassionate about their party at the grassroots level. You'd be surprised. People are very compassionate about that. So they were able to determine who were not supposed to be in the register, and that was duly removed. So a lot of cleaning went in, and a lot of names have been removed, which we perceive are not our bona fide members. And those whose names were missed because of technical problems were also reinstated.
So everybody satisfied?
So I have a credible, I can say it's a human institution. You cannot say 100%, but then for as far as humanly possible, I can attest that the register is a very credible register that we are using.
Okay. The police are expected to deploy the best of security. Yes. So that one you leave it.
That's why the regional security council met yesterday with the police, and we are saying that the 34 constituencies should be treated equally as no-go areas for people who are not supposed to be there. So the police are going to ensure that adequate security is provided at all the police stations that we have identified, right? We are asking the police to be very vigilant and ensure that we have a peaceful. So we are leaving it to them. They know. And yesterday, I was glad to see the police marching on the street of Accra, showing the equipment that they were. So if they can deploy about 1,000 of them in Greater Accra tomorrow morning, I'll be most grateful.
Well, the police, we know, according to the statement they are giving us, are deploying about 7,000 or just a little over 7,000 personnel countrywide for this very primaries for the NDC that is taking place tomorrow. And again, this is the channel for you always to be on. And we're going to give you a lot more of the previews, a lot more of the analysis during the period of the election and the post-election period also. When the results start trickling in, we'll bring you a lot more of the analysis as well. Always make sure you interface with us through Facebook, Joy News on TV, which has a link on our Twitter handle at Joy News on TV, and also a number we have for WhatsApp, 0560 800,000. The police, when we spoke to them about 3 days ago, had named some trouble spots, and in Greater Accra region, Ashaiman and some other places were named. But you seem to think that they're not trouble spots.
No. I'm saying that not only the flashpoints, but per the intelligence, whether those areas are flash. I'm saying the 34 constituencies must all be treated as flashpoints. Enough security must be provided. We want to have good headlines on Monday morning, good headlines that this election has been one of the best in Greater Accra. So security, the police must not compromise on security. They must not, people will be accredited to come there. If you don't have accreditation, you have no business going there. And it's been spelled out very clearly. No executive member should interfere with the elections.
You mean people like your kind?
People like my kind. I don't have to. I will vote.
And if you say interference, what do you mean?
That is going to determine whether this person is qualified to vote or not. Stopping people from going to vote. You have no right to do that. The register is there. When the person goes and he finds his or her name in the register, he is allowed to vote. If his or her name is not there, you go back home. No agitation, no argument. You don't have to argue with anybody there. Just go home. Or go around the next area and go and check whether your name is there. And invariably, where you voted at the last election, if you're a registered member, that is where your vote will be. So if you registered here, and you are now staying in Kintampo, and you registered in Kintampo, your registration will come to where you voted at the last general election. So if you go to Kintampo, your name will not be there. Your name will be in Accra. So you have to come to where you voted. So people might have voted in maybe, when they were doing the registration.
During the last election.
When they were doing the registration, people didn't want to queue. So they went to where the queues were small. Then they went to register. You see, so on the day of the registration, they had to go there. And on the day of voting, they had to go there too. It's the same principle.
Have you been able to find time to educate your delegates, or let's say your members who are on there, they are voters this way? Because they are voters now. They're on the mass electoral.
The constituency executive and the branch executive have been trained to tell them what they should do. So everybody knows where they have to vote. It's just like when you are doing the district assembly election. You know that you live in this area. The district election has a certain particular, because they bring a lot of electoral areas together. That is where you have to go and do cast your vote. I think enough education has gone around. Just go and exercise your franchise peacefully, and go home and come back at 5 o'clock to witness the counting peacefully, and then we go home.
The president had been undertaking a Changing Life tour, and prior to going to the Volta region to climb as a tour, he was in the Greater Accra region. Was it part of the plan to coincide with all this?
No, he has to campaign. I mean, he has to campaign. Even though, like he said, he's the sole candidate. He could have sat in the house and said, well, people automatically, I can cross the 50 plus. But as a sign of respect to us, and as a sign of also indicating that he's also a member of the party seeking our mandate, it behoves on him to go around to talk to the people, to campaign. So what he was campaigning for his re-election as a leader of the party. Yeah. So there was nothing wrong, and I was privileged to host him on Monday and Tuesday, and he saw that we were able to the people will galvanize the party. And I was surprised to see the pavilion. It's a very big place to put a.
You mean the venue for the event? Trade fair?
Trade fair pavilion is a huge place.
You bus people there?
No. You see, what do you say bus people? I just don't understand. If you're having a party,
you consistently and deliberately put people in buses, give them money to go there. That's the accusation.
No, if you're having
to make the president look good.
You see,
even though his party supporters, according to reports, don't like him.
It's like, Roland, it's like when you have a football match, and you want your supporters to come and watch the match, for you to win the match. Nothing stops you from giving your supporters buses to come and watch your match. It happens. Black Star, why do you have Black Star supporters studio? Why do you have them?
To galvanize.
To galvanize you. So if you give your Black Star supporters stadium buses to come to the Accra Sports Stadium, you have bussed them. No, you have to get your supporters to come and be part of the. It's a mixture. People will come by themselves, but you also have to make available transportation for your people to come to the function. It happens everywhere. You go to Donald Trump. Do you think it's less? You see some big buses coming. Do you have people organize and put them in the buses and come? So there's nothing untoward about busing your supporters to a venue. There's nothing untoward about it. It is part of the democratic. The rules of the game allows for that.
And then when you hosted the president, you decided to make the ground murky for the media to speculate.
the media decided to report what suits their headlines.
Well, the president said some controversial
But then they were not controversial.
You were the host.
Yeah, they were not controversial at all. At all. In this country, we must be told to respect our elders, and that the respect must come from the politicians.
What do you mean by elders? The 1992 Constitution grants the freedom of expression.
Yeah, but nobody is gagging anybody. But when you insult, right, you open a kind of webs that you go to various stations and you see people at the verge of fighting because they are not using language that is appropriate.
What is wrong if the president is called incompetent?
The president is called.
It's just political language, isn't it?
No, it is not. You see, there are languages that are political language. There are languages that are not unparliamentary, to say the least.
Or unpresidential.
Unpresidential.
Or unpolitical.
Unpolitical. You know, calling you incompetent. Incompetent. I mean, you also have to check your competence level before you say somebody is incompetent.
So you planned all this as host with
no.
I didn't. Who is the president?
I didn't write the speech.
The candidate.
I didn't write the speech for the president.
Well, sure, he was speaking extempo. I'm not sure he.
Yeah, exactly. So he knows what was in his heart to come and tell the people of Ghana. And yesterday he made the same statement in Ho and said he has said what he needs to be said. It is that people are, and he spoke in a context. You see, but you are good enough, the media, to take a one-liner and run with it. But if you listen to the whole, he said Ghanaians are the best people to judge him.
What the president said, how does it resonate with the rank and file of the party in the region? Or even, let's say, the rest of the country?
You see, when I hear people insulting the president, and like he said, one of the most vilified people in this country, he is a human being. He must respond. He must.
So you, the party executives, you support what?
If there's something called 150%, I do.
You wouldn't speak like that. Why would you want the president to speak like that?
If somebody is insulting me to the hilt, I'm bound to fight back. And probably I would have said worse things than that. You see, it is how you push the person that will enable the person. Like he said, we've got black belts. Until you corner me that you want to harm me, that is when I react. But we are all human beings. We've got limitations.
Okay. As a chairman, I'm sure you kind of solidarize with other chairmen of your party in other regions.
Exactly.
Which of the regions are also of interest to you?
Oh no! All my colleagues. You know, I happen to be the chairman of the chairman of the party. So what I wish for myself, I'm wishing them the same thing, that they have a successful primaries and presidential election, devoid of rancor, devoid of any nasty incident. So I hope they also come out the way Greater Accra wants to come out, and we end up prosecuting a very one day all the headlines in the country should be one that is favorable to the NDC.
Okay, so we have the number of voting centers: Western Region 960, Central Region 560, Volta Region 1,288, Greater Accra 522, the Eastern Region 776, the Ashanti Region has 1,741, the Bonafo Region has 833, the Northern Region has 711, the Upper East Region has 438, and the Upper West Region has 395. And they all make up over 8,000 of those voting centers. And so voting will start at what time?
7 a.m. and end at 5 p.m.
Why? It's just a small election. When did you decide? I thought you said 3 p.m.
We said 3 p.m., but the experience at the last, 2 days ago, there was an election at Amenfi or something in the Western Region. And the challenges that we had there that compel us to push it to 5 p.m. Tomorrow. It's good that we had a trial run and we realized how it's going to be. People will be trickling in. It's not going to be like there'll be an initial surge, right? And then it will trickle down. And then maybe in the getting to the afternoon, late afternoon, people will trickle in. So you must make room for those time factors. So that is why it's been brought.
The criticism against the NDC administration is that the economy is bad. It's been badly mismanaged by them. As a result of that, it doesn't give them a very good chance for 2016. What do you say about that?
We have a very good chance. I keep telling people, right? I went to Dodua with the president on Tuesday, and I saw the state-of-the-art hospital that is being built in Dodua.
Because they built a hospital in Dodua.
You see, these are the. Why do you go to government for? To change the lives of the people. Building a hospital in Dodua. There's a hospital where, if you are going to give birth, right? Right, and you are not sick, there's a holding room for you to relax. Now there's this hospital where,
like chalets.
No, I mean
the holding rooms are chalets. Or
yeah, I mean
comfortable chalets.
Like, if your daughter or your child is sick and is admitted in the hospital, now if you go to most hospitals, the parents will be sleeping outside, but now they provided rooms. So when your daughter or your sibling or child is sick, right? As he or she is being taken care of,
you have also been accommodated. That's for those in intensive.
Exactly. And this is moving forward in this country. All over the country, I just gave you an example. Look at the University of Allied and health services.
Health sciences.
You saw it yesterday. You haven't seen it. I'm asking you.
I mean, I monitor the
news. You monitor. I mean, were you not pleased that at least Ghana has been able to put up, Ghana, not NDC, Ghana has been able to put up such an edifice that are going to train our nurses and our doctors and I mean, look at the University of Ghana hospital. It's now going to be a teaching hospital. What a gain! Every government does that. But at the end of the day, what the government will create an enabling environment for us to what? Make use of it. So this president is on track. Seriously on track. And the good people of Ghana, we sit in the urban areas and we pretend not to see what is happening. As I drove here this morning, I saw that circle interchange by June next year will be completed with all manner of,
Joseph Niadekoka, that's it. You are doing politics now. We're talking about the election, so we wish you well tomorrow.
Yes.
And that'll be it. Joseph Niadekoka is the chairman for NDC Greater Accra. They are going to the polls, and there are 34 constituencies that the primaries will be taking place for Greater Accra. In all, we're going to have a number of the constituencies, at least the majority of the constituencies in our country, also taking part as well. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much.
I wish you well.
Thank you.
We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll have entertainment for you.